Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm thrilled to be sharing all of my reptiles and amphibians eating. I'm going to be including some informational videos down below and on the screen throughout the video that are about the different insects that I'm offering to my animals because they're not all going to be eating the same thing. So if you're curious about what they're eating, how often it should be offered, if it's dusted in calcium or not, that sort of thing, make sure you check out those videos. One thing I want to note before we get started is that a lot of my reptiles are disabled in some way, especially like my leopard geckos. And you might notice this throughout the video. I will talk about it as a voiceover or include text on screen so that you guys are aware of that when it's being presented on the screen. But yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Oh wait, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave a comment. Also, please check us out on Patreon or become a channel member. We'd really love to have your support there. You get access to early videos such as this one and a bunch of other things. So just make sure you check it out. The link is down below for that. Or if you want to become a channel member, it's like a button right below. But anyways, let's go ahead and get started. So we're starting off the video with my chubby frog, Chocho. They're also called the Asian painted bullfrog or Asian painted frog. And Chocho is a great eater, so as you can see here, no qualms whatsoever. And she's eating waxworms. I will include a link up on the corner of the screen of what waxworms are as a feeder insect. That way you can learn more about them. This is Gamakichi, my tomato frog, who's a little bit more difficult to feed outside the enclosure. Kind of have to persuade him. But again, he's eating waxworms and I'll include that video down below in the description. This is Roku, my African fire skink, who's eating a hornworm. I will include a video down below and on the screen about hornworms so you can learn about their nutrition facts and how to keep them and how often you should offer them, that sort of thing. But Roku absolutely loves every type of insect that could possibly be offered. So regardless of whether it's a hornworm or not, Roku was gonna eat it. This is Shukaku, my Peter's banded skink, who actually just came home this year. We're going to be coming up on a year of having Shukaku in the spring of next year, so very exciting. But Shukaku is eating superworms, and I will include a link below and up here on the screen for you guys to learn a bit about superworms. I also want to note that for some of the reptiles, like especially later on when we get to the leopard geckos, I'm only feeding them one insect just because it's going to take so long to get through this video. So many of them are having more than one insect at a time. It's just, you know, to save time. This is my bearded dragon, Franklin. Everybody should know Franklin. I've had him for a very long time. He's eating hornworms, which he very much loves. For those who don't know, it's been almost a year since Franklin was diagnosed with a gastrointestinal tumor. It's not something that can be operated out or anything like that, but he's doing really well still, so I'm really happy about that. But yeah, that is an unfortunate update you might have missed this year. And this is my other bearded dragon, Nova. She has like some bug guts on her face. So normally she's quite clean, but right now you can see there's a spot of bug guts. So don't judge me or her. So she's eating hornworms in this video, just like Franklin and Roku, and she's a real big fan of them. I'm sorry for how far away that this video clip is of my Uromastyx wren, but she won't eat if I'm standing near her, so I have to kind of like take a video from far away. And then even once she sees me, she'll just like finish that one green and then run away. So it's kind of annoying, but I still wanted to include her in the feeding on my pets video, of course. And also, don't mind how foggy her door looks. She scratched them the first week she was here, and you know, they're acrylic, so you can't really fix that. This is my ex-fiance's blue-tongue skink, Haku, who's now kind of my blue-tongue skink, Haku. This is Haku eating hornworms. Haku's a great, lovely skink we've had for many years. I hope to be making more content, especially like care type of content about her next year since she's 100% my responsibility now. This is my Chinese cave gecko Nymeria. She eats out of a bowl and she eats off of tongs, but it's easier to see her eating when she's eating out of a bowl because when she eats off of tongs, she's hiding in her core ground. So I was really happy to catch this video. I was like, yes, and I could put it in the feeding on my pets video. But she's eating dubia roaches. I don't have a video made about them yet, but I will in the future. So just make sure you're subscribed and you have that notification bell hit. That way when it comes out, you'll see it. And then this is one of my axolotls, Harry. I couldn't get a good clip of my other axolotl eating. Also, don't mind that the water looks kind of low. It was water changing day. But Harry's eating an earthworm. I'll include a video on the screen and down below about earthworms. And next we have, oh my garter snake Mikasa. So she's getting so big. You can't even tell in the video, but she's huge. Like, I have a picture posted on Instagram comparing her shed from March of this year to this month, and it's such an incredible difference. But anyways, this is Mikasa, my garter snake. She's eating chicken heart in this, but I think she's also going to eat a piece of tilapia. Or actually it's cod. Just kidding, it's cod she's eating. But yeah, she eats fish and earthworms and chicken heart. She eats all different kinds of things. It's really exciting to feed her, and she's just great. I love having Mikasa. This is my tiger salamander Neville, who has spent the majority of the year underground. So I was actually really apprehensive about like posting a clip of Neville because I was like, maybe she's not actually going to be in the video and I'll have to post an old clip. But I dug her up and she actually decided to stay up, and she has been up for like 5 days now. So it's a real big happy improvement because I've missed seeing her face all year. And I know you guys have missed her too, because I would get comments about her like, where's Neville? How come we haven't seen her? And I'm like, she just decided to bury herself for months. And like, I would check on her every like month and a half, like dig her up just to make sure she's fine. And she was fine. So gotta let her do her thing. Oh yeah, this is my red-eyed crocodile skink Fugaku, and it happens so fast that you can't even really see her, but this is all I could get of her feeding because otherwise she eats from a bowl and it's when I'm not in the room. This is my ex-fiance's Gargoyle Gecko Genova. I wanted to include her because she's just glorious. I didn't include a lot of his other animals like his Crested Geckos, but I also didn't include a lot of my own Crested Geckos. Like for example, Rue here is the only Crested Gecko who would eat on camera, so I only have her, but I have other Crested Geckos and now I have my ex-fiance's as well. I will leave a list of animals that weren't featured in this video down below that can be featured at a later time, and you can look forward to that. It's just Crested geckos sometimes don't eat on camera, like they either don't want an insect or they're eating their Pangea in the middle of the night and you can't really get that on camera. This is my Leachianus Gecko Rin, who just ate a dubia roach, and she's getting an enclosure upgrade any second now. Like I'm currently building it, so I'm just really excited about that. This is my African fat-tailed gecko Obella. Oh yeah, Fugaku, Obella, and Rin and Rue were all eating a dubia roach. And next up we have my African fat-tailed gecko Jamie, who's just a darling little boy, and he's gonna have a dubia roach. This is my African fat-tailed gecko Oberon, who you're gonna see in like a flash and then he's gonna be gone, just like Fugaku, because he doesn't really like to eat out in the open. So yeah, that's Oberon. This is my gecko Davos. We're on to the leopard geckos now, so this is gonna be a large portion of the video. But this is Davos. She's the newest addition, which is why she's in like a quarantine type setup. But this week she gets moved into one of the regular gecko enclosures, which I'm really excited about. This is Arya. She's eating a superworm. Oh yeah, Davos had a dubia roach and now Arya is having a superworm. Like I mentioned earlier, just to save time, I'm feeding all of them one insect. This is Tormund. Tormund has a neurological disorder, so if you notice anything wonky about her movements, that's why. She also has one eye that's smaller than the other, just like Davos. This is my gecko Amy, who is completely abled and has no disabilities. This is my gecko Marcella, and she has slight enigma syndrome, which is a neurological disorder that's going to pop up quite a bit in this video, so I'll leave a link to it down below and on the screen. And this is my gecko Renly, who is completely abled and just has really big, gorgeous eyes. And here's Brienne, again, really big, gorgeous eyes, but completely abled. This is my gecko Merlin, who has some skeletal deformities. His shoulders, his spine, and his head are very oddly shaped and kind of stick out from his body. He also is lovingly referred to as the elf gecko because he has pointed ears like an elf. But yeah, in general, he's just shaped a bit different. This is my gecko Benjen, who's also shaped a bit different. He has a very flat skull and a pretty severe underbite. This is Jojen. Jojen has white and yellow syndrome, which is a neurological disorder. I will include a video on the screen and down below about that. This is my gecko Viserion, and he is a lemon frost with a facial tumor. I think I'm running out of room for on-screen cards, so I'm just going to leave links for everything down below, including about the lemon frost morph. This is my gecko Tywin, who's a very big boy. Only issues he has are not something you can see, but he has a lot of reproductive health issues. So again, not something you can see, but definitely annoying. And then this is my gecko Varys, who has no issues whatsoever, just, you know, big, beautiful boy. And now we're on to the enigmas. This is my enigma leopard gecko Roz. She has enigma syndrome and, you know, needs a lot of assistance when it comes to feeding. And she goes catatonic if I try to hold her. So she's definitely a gecko that's good to be left alone. She's not terrible eating on her own, but yeah, she definitely has ES. And here is a gecko of mine named Sam, who also has enigma syndrome. As you can see, she's circling, which is, you know, a very characteristic trait of enigma syndrome, unfortunately. And here she is struggling to eat, but she gets it eventually, though she does bite herself first. Again, it happens when you have enigma syndrome, or when a gecko has enigma syndrome. But you know, she eventually got it, you know, she's hanging in there. And then this is Marjorie, who does not have enigma syndrome, but she does have a neurological condition. She also has stunted growth, and her eyes are a bit underdeveloped. One of them is bigger than the other, and her eyelids don't meet in the corners. And then this is Raygo, my lovely boy Raygo, who has a bunch of facial defects as well as reproductive health issues and stunted growth. I'll leave a video about him down below. This is my gecko Gilly, who has enigma syndrome, and she's actually a sister to Sam, so they look quite similar. But she's actually not so bad at hunting compared to Sam. So this is Melisandre, who is another one of my enigmas with enigma syndrome. She's not so great at hunting either, which again, kind of par for the course when you keep enigmas. She unfortunately has reproductive health issues. She's been egg-bound twice, which is really not pleasant. This is Eddard, another one of my enigmas. He's actually my only male with enigma syndrome, and his is more of like a moderate case compared to the girls, which I'll have more severe with the exception of Marcella. Next up, we have Mira. Mira has stunted growth as well as underdeveloped eyelids, and I mean, it's pretty obvious. You can tell by looking at her, but she's really great. She gets around great. You wouldn't even really notice. This is my leopard gecko Egret. She has one eye that's slightly smaller than the other, and she also has a little bit of an underbite. She's a completely abled gecko though, just a little bit different looking. And then this is Liana, who is completely abled and also abled to the point of hating my guts. And, you know, she hates me. And this is my gecko Kinvara. Kinvara has white and yellow syndrome. Also, if you hear me petting my dog, I apologize. He just came over and wanted some love, so I'm gonna give it to him. Like I said earlier, I will leave a video about white and yellow syndrome down below. This is Theon. Theon also has white and yellow syndrome. This is Elia, who was neglected in her, what we suspect is her first home, and then she was rescued, rehabilitated, and then rehomed to me as a lifelong, like pet-only type of gecko due to having, as you can see, the effects of metabolic bone disease. This is Alisan, another rescue that was sent to me. She had a burn scar on her back and she's missing a lot of her toes. She was also cohabbed with a gecko that actually ended up passing away. It was in way worse shape than she was. This is Tyrion. He's my Eublepharus macularis afghanicus. He's a little pet only just because he's got some extra skin. You know, his face is a little like short compared to what would be desired, but he's a lovely, lovely gecko. This is Carcy, my Eublepharus fuscus. She's having a dubia roach, which I know is incongruent with the rest of the Leos having superworms, but she was a challenge to get to eat on camera. She sometimes likes to eat from a bowl, but I wanted to get it on camera, so I had to like make the insect move around and stuff, and she just wasn't having it with the superworm, so I had to get her a clip of her last night. This is Fritz, my leopard gecko, who's actually my first leopard gecko ever. He's completely abled. He's just a very grouchy dinosaur. This is Vash, who's my ex-fiance's gecko. Vash is a completely abled gecko, and he's a lovely boy. This is my gecko Meraxes. She's a Eublepharus angermanu. It's going to be hard to see her eating just because the nature of her enclosure has like a lot of dark spaces at night. But I'll feed her 2 worms so you can see her a bit more. But yeah, this is Meraxes. And we're finally on to another species. These are my white tree frogs. This is durian. They're having earthworms. Again, I will leave a video about the earthworms down below. This is my white tree frog, Kiwi. This is my white tree frog, Berry, that you can't see very well, but there's another clip I included later of all them eating again, so you'll get to see them more than once. And this is my frog, Coco, who is really slow to eat. But yeah, this is Coco. And Berry coming in clutch. Hey, Berry, mind your business. And now we're back to durian. This is Berry. You'll notice he has a bit of nose rub. Oh my god. The level of energy that this small frog has to launch himself at everything in sight. So we're working on it. It's just a tiny bit of nose rub, but yeah, I figured I'd address it. Also, I think that a creature that is as dumb as it looks is rare to find, and these creatures are dumb and they look dumb. And this is Kiwi eating an earthworm. And then next up we'll have Coco. And this is Coco, who is the last animal you're going to be seeing in this video. I appreciate you guys for watching. I will leave a list of animals that did not eat on camera down below. And it's not a long list or anything, but just so you guys are aware. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed seeing all my reptiles and amphibians eating their food. If you did, let me know down below who was your favorite, what did you enjoy watching the most. Also, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all the good stuff. And with that, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!